What's up, YouTube family? Today is the day I become the most transparent YouTuber on YouTube. I am about to reveal everything, my entire portfolio, from real estate to stocks to crypto to NFTs. Every single thing I own, I am about to reveal. And the reason why I'm doing this is because today is the launch of the revamped Patreon for On-Chain Gaming, where I am going to be releasing a weekly exclusive video updating my Patreon supporters on every single buy and sell that I make across every asset class every single week. And not only will I be sharing like my actual actions, but I'll also be sharing my thoughts and reasonings behind those actions. Now, none of this is meant to be financial advice. It's just meant to be educational, another source of information for you to use when making your own financial decisions. So let's hop over to this slideshow that I just spent like the last hour working on, grabbing all of this stuff because it's really, really exciting. So starting off, here's just my stock portfolio on Interactive Brokers, and this is just the past month. I know this looks good for the past month, right? Up 51%, $187,000. It's been an incredible month for me. But you guys have to remember that before Tesla crashed 75%, I had a $1.7 million portfolio, and now I am climbing back out of the disaster that was this last recession. And I know the media will say there's no recession. There were 2 quarters of negative GDP growth. That is a effing recession. Don't listen to the media. And we had the longest bear market, I think, since, I don't know, the last 40 years or something. And small cap growth stocks are still in a bear market, by the way. So let's move to the second slide here. So this is the only kind of transparent video that is going to be going up on the main channel. If you want to see those weekly buys and sells from now on, then you have to become a member of the Patreon. So the Patreon has been simplified. There's now only 2 tiers. You can be a player 2, which you get access to the On-Chain Gaming Discord community, which existed in the previous Patreon. But then you also get these weekly exclusive Patreon updates that share all of my moves. And then the player 1 is now has an exclusive, I'm going to be doing one-on-one calls up to once per quarter for player 1 subscribers. So you get the exclusive videos. But then if you want to have a call with me to ask questions or discuss ideas, bounce ideas off of me, and I'm a pretty good critical thinker, then that is something that should be fun. I'll do 20-minute calls with any player 1 Patreon up to 4 times per year whenever you guys request that. We'll schedule it. I'll probably do something where I like schedule a bunch in a single day or something. But then moving on from that, I am planning on releasing daily videos. That's going to be my goal here with the relaunched On-Chain Gaming. There are going to be daily videos on YouTube and Twitter, and I'm going to be making 2 daily videos per day. One on the Metaverse, Web3 gaming, and then another one on stocks and what I'm doing in the stock market, kind of what I'm researching, what I'm thinking publicly. So that should be really fun. There's going to be a lot more content coming on this channel. And guys, we have a lot to get into as far as like actual portfolio stuff goes once we get past this. But also, for those of you guys who don't know, I recently launched a new startup called Magic Book. You can find it at magicbook.com, although you can't sign up right now because it's in closed alpha. The only way you can sign up is we have, I think, a little under 20 slots left to sign up for closed alpha testing, which is 75% off. And we're really just looking for feedback and stuff like that. But this is a really, really cool kind of story generator that I'm working on with my business partner. So this is just an example here. We just added long stories, which are like these 10 chapter stories that are getting really, really in depth. It would literally take hours of prompting in order to get this. But you can see for this one, I did nouns, AI, virtual reality, metaverse, and Bitcoin, then verbs, earn, and then transfer game items between games, added the parentheses for a bit more context there. And then the adjectives are massive, bloody, catastrophic. And then it's a science fiction for young adults. And then chapter 2, just to give you a little taste of the type of stories you can get, check this out. So this is obviously chapter 1 has already happened, but chapter 2, as Alex delved deeper into the metaverse, whispers of a hidden game that could earn players massive amounts of Bitcoin reached his ears. The mere mention of such a fortune was enough to send a shiver down his spine, as he imagined the kind of life that kind of wealth could afford him. His curiosity piqued, Alex ventured further into the virtual world, determined to uncover the truth behind these tantalizing rumors. While exploring a digital library, Alex stumbled upon a hushed conversation between two AI characters. They spoke in hushed tones about the enigmatic game, their eyes darting around nervously as if trying not to be overheard, or as if afraid of being overheard. Alex strained to hear every word, his heart pounding in anticipation. He learned that the game was a series of challenges, each more treacherous than the last. The Bitcoin rewards, however, could be transferred to other games. And obviously it keeps going. Chapter 2 goes a lot longer here. And then there's a full story here. This is such a cool app. And I'm excited to keep working on it. And I would really appreciate if any of you guys wanted to sign up for it and help with testing, give feedback, that kind of thing would be super helpful. I'm not going to go into the roadmap and stuff yet, but now let's get into the full portfolio reveal. So these are the positions that I am currently holding on my Interactive Brokers account. So these are all of my stock positions. So you can see that I have about $600,000 in Tesla, 2,400 shares. I have about $232,000 in Block, SQ. I have about $200,000 in Roku. I have $120,000 almost in Palantir. I have about $115,000 in Avant Brands, $81,000 in Unity. And then I'm holding just one share of Amazon because that's my benchmark and I'm trying to destroy Amazon's returns. So we're going to go in depth into each one of these. Now, if you're someone who only cares about gaming, then this is probably not going to be that interesting of a video to you. But if you're someone who enjoys getting returns, then this should be really, really educational because I'm going to go into what each of these companies do and why I'm holding them and why I am bullish on them. Now, one thing that you're going to notice here is, wait, didn't your first slide show that you had like $500,000 or $600,000? How come the market value of this is $1.35 million? Well, that's because I am currently margined to my teeth. And that might sound crazy to you. I know it is completely counter-cultural to where we are right now with high interest rates and stuff like that. But I'm currently positioned for when interest rates start going down in 2024. I know that I am doing something that is completely opposite almost everyone, and that's why I'm doing it. As soon as interest rates start getting lower, other people start adding margin, we start to see margin levels are rising. That's when I'm going to get rid of all of my margin. So I like to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. And by the way, I do not recommend anyone use margin. I have no kids, no wife, no responsibilities. I've put myself in a position, I'm still in my 20s, where I can take risks that most people cannot take because I want returns that most people aren't going to be able to get either. Now you can see my daily, I'm down $37,000 since the prior close. That happens all the time. Fluctuations of $50,000 is very, very normal for my portfolio. I really don't care at all. Okay, so I want to read this tweet that I made. By the way, you can follow me at Jake Browatzke. Because I'm a crypto gaming channel, most people don't really seem that interested in these types of tweets that are regarding stocks. But in my opinion, your guys' loss. I am about to start talking going forward. I'm going to be talking about what I want to talk about, sharing the opinions that I really believe in. And I don't give a crap if you guys want to stop watching or disagree with me. Actually, I love people who disagree with me. If you want to give logical reasons why in the comment section, that would be wonderful. But here I go here. Small growth stocks are an epic opportunity. I really, really believe this. The Russell 2000 small caps have had their worst 5-year relative underperformance since 1926 compared to like the S&P 500, like Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, those types of stocks. The worst 5-year relative underperformance since 1926 in 100 years. That's insane. Apple is worth more than the entire Russell 2000. A few years ago, Apple was 1/3 the value of the Russell. So like literally all 2,000 stocks in the Russell, Apple is worth more than all of them combined. Now, Apple does make a lot of money, but that is just ridiculous. As an example of small growth undervaluation, let's take a look at Square and ROKU. These are my number 2 and number 3 biggest holdings. They need to 3x to get back to their average price to sales ratio that they've traded at since going public. And if you don't know what a price to sales ratio is, it's pretty much how many years of sales do you have to pay for the company? So for example, if a company had $100 in revenue and you were paying $500 for that company, like it was a $500 market cap, then you are paying a price to sales ratio of 5. You're paying 5 times 1 year's sales. So ROKU and Square, to get back to the average price to sales ratio that they've traded at since going public, they need to around 3x. Both of them are slightly different, but that's the average there. 3x to return to the mean. That's insane. Now, obviously, if Square and ROKU weren't doing good, there's no reason why they should return to the mean, but the actual fundamentals are incredible. We'll be getting into that in a minute. So Square is trading at $64 with $18 billion in revenue last year. 5 years ago, now remember, we've had the 5-year worst relative underperformance in 100 years. So 5 years ago, in 2018, Square was trading at $70. So 5 years ago it was $70, now it's $64. There's been no stock splits. 5 years ago in 2018, their 12-month revenue was $2.6 billion. Now remember now, $18 billion is what we're looking at. So Square has about 7x revenue and the company has gotten cheaper. They've 7x revenue and the company is cheaper. Crazy. Longer the base, bigger the breakout. All right, so let's look at my biggest position. Tesla is about 50% of my stock portfolio right now. My average cost per share on Tesla is $84. And you can see right now it's trading at about $253. So I've got an incredible return on my Tesla position so far. But if you go to my Twitter, it says I'm holding Tesla to a $50 trillion market cap. And I know a lot of people think that's crazy, but I am 100% convinced that Tesla is going to surpass a $50 trillion market cap in our lifetime. And right now it's like a, $700 billion market cap or something like that. Oh, here we go. $802 billion market cap. So we're talking like a 60, 70x is what I'm expecting in Tesla over the next couple decades. And I am a long-term investor, by the way, guys. I don't do short-term trading. I am holding these companies because I believe in them. Like, I believe I could go into a coma, wake up in 50 years, and I would be very happy still holding all of the companies that I currently hold and that they would have insane returns. I wouldn't care if the stock market shut down for an entire year. I'm just comfortable holding all of my companies. I believe in their leadership. I believe in their product superiority. I believe in their moats, and we'll be getting into more of that in a second. But you can see this is a two-week chart, and then I have a 5-year chart here as well. So I first started buying Tesla in 2019, so way down here. I then all-ined in Tesla in March of 2020 during the COVID crash, and then it's been an insane ride since then. I got a 10x in 1 year, which you should never expect to do. That was wild. My portfolio went from like $20,000 with the help of margin to over $2 million and then crashed back down. Obviously from here to here, it was a drawdown of, I think, almost 80%. It was very, very rough. I've been margin called so many times, I don't even care anymore. Margin calls don't scare me. They're actually kind of fun, but I have gotten diversified now so that if I do get margin called, I can sell things that aren't down instead of being forced to sell things that are down. That's really the worst part about a margin call, is when you have to sell stocks at the worst prices ever. So if you hold like a number of stocks, like 5 stocks, for example, then at least something is going to be performing decently better than the other stuff, and you're not going to be forced to sell the worst things. And by that, I mean the most undervalued things. So let's look at Tesla's revenue growth. So you can see here that the stock over the last 2 years hasn't really moved. So has their revenue not moved? Well, no, not at all. The revenue just continues to grow. This is honestly one of the most beautiful revenue growth lines I have ever seen. It's just absolutely insane. And energy is just picking up. Like, this revenue growth is pretty much just on car sales. Energy is picking up. Robo-taxis are going to be a mind effort. They're like, it's going to blow Wall Street's mind like you don't believe. I think robo-taxis are almost like a 10x, like you just add a zero to whatever Tesla's valuation is. And that's what robo-taxis are going to do for Tesla. You can see the average annual growth rate here is around 50% for the last decade, which is insane revenue growth. And I know the law of big numbers, people are like, it's so big now, it can't keep growing by 50%. But that's only if you think about things in terms of like vagueness. If you actually look at the specifics, energy is going to be growing more than 50% a year. It's probably going to be closer to 100% growth a year. Now, energy is coming from a smaller base, but car sales, especially as the Cybertruck launches and then the new $20,000 model launches, like Tesla's auto sales are going to continue growing by 50% a year. Currently, they're under 2 million or around 2 million sales a year. And I believe that by 2033, they're going to be at 20 million sales a year. So I 100%, and this is just fundamentally thinking about how big's the car market, how many, what percentage of the car market might Tesla have? What is the leadership at Tesla actually, what are they saying? What are their goals? What are they shooting for themselves? Where do they believe they can get to? And then Tesla bot is just a wild card that could be insane. If it can replicate human labor, like paying a laborer is like $50,000 a year or something, maybe $40,000 a year. So if they sold Tesla bot for like $10,000 or $20,000 and it could work like a human, you're getting a 50% return in a single year as an employer. And like the number of Tesla bots Tesla could sell would be infinite, but that's like a couple decades away, I think. Like they'll start launching it maybe in like 5 or 10 years, but before it's like really substantial, but it could be a couple decades. But I think it could help continue that 50% growth for a lot longer than people think. And then obviously robo-taxis are going to be insane. I think Tesla is going to have well over 50% revenue growth for the next 7 years, at least to 2030. Now let's look at Tesla's balance sheet. Now, I know for a lot of you guys, you're going to be bored now. You're like, I want to play video games. If you want to make money, you have to do the research. So I'm here just giving it all to you for free right now. I mean, for future videos like this where I'm covering my portfolio, it's going to be in the Patreon. But I'm going to be doing daily videos talking about my opinions and stuff. And looking at balance sheets is very important because guess what? A company can't go bankrupt that doesn't have debt. So it's like really important to know the financial health of stocks. And this is one of the big reasons why I have kind of shied away from crypto recently. Because these coins are 100% tied to the companies, and we have no idea what the balance sheets of these companies look like. We have no idea what the revenue of these companies look like. We have no idea what the burn rate, what the runway of these companies are. And if they go bankrupt, their coins are going to zero. So this information is why I feel so much more secure, mostly in stocks. Now, I do still own crypto, and we'll be getting to that more towards the end of this video. But you can see Tesla has $82 billion in assets and $36 billion in liabilities. They actually, cash on hand is $22 billion. They almost have as much just flat cash as total liabilities. Tesla is a healthy balance sheet. You're not going to find many companies in the entire stock market with a balance sheet like this. However, all the companies I own have really great balance sheets. So let's now look at my second biggest position, which is SQ or Block. I'll probably call it Square. I call it Square all the time. But check this out. So remember how I read that tweet? Remember this tweet right here about how Square is trading at 64, it was 70? Well, when you look at the chart, it's kind of mind-boggling. So this is the 5-year weekly candle chart. And you can see here, 2018, same price as it is all the way in 2023. It obviously had this big run up and this massive crash, but now we're literally back to 2018 levels. And you have to ask the question. Oh, and by the way, this little green line here is my cost basis. So you can see I'm like, my cost basis is really good here, right along the bottom. I started buying this stock after it crashed super heavily. I thought it was a little too overvalued here, but I was watching it and was very interested in it. And when all this happened, and now you can see we've kind of been stable for about 3 months. So I'm not catching a falling knife anymore. It's actually almost 6 months of stability here. Not catching a falling knife. I think we've really started to build a new kind of base here. It's not going to go much lower in my opinion. And the upside is incredible. Absolutely insane. So the question that you should have is, okay, the stock looks like it's kind of doing nothing. Maybe this isn't a good buy. Yeah, until you look at the freaking revenue growth. Look at this. So 2018, remember I said we were like 2.5 billion in revenue and now we're up to 18 billion in revenue. Just look at this. This is insane. 1 year when COVID was really big, 200% revenue growth we saw. Now when COVID ended, the lockdowns ended, we had a little bit of shrinkage here, you can see, but now we've returned to growth. The last quarter we had 23% growth. And I believe that Block is going to be growing by at least 30% a year going forward. If you guys don't know, Block has the Square card reader where you swipe reader, but they offer a bunch of software services to small and medium-sized businesses. And they're trying to get into the large business realm as well. And they just make a small tax on the small businesses, offering them a ton of value. And as all of the businesses, like hundreds of thousands of businesses that use Square, as they grow, Square's revenue grows as well. So they just kind of have like a call option on the small and medium-sized businesses of America, which I think is really great. Now, in an economic slowdown, that side of their business is also going to slow down a lot. But then Block also has Cash App, the #1 finance app on the Apple and Google Chrome store. And that has been growing users by about 50% per year. And they have a lot of monetization to add to that. And Cash App is amazing. You can buy Bitcoin, you can buy stocks, you can send stocks to friends, you can send Bitcoin to friends, you can buy stuff with Afterpay. Honestly, Cash App is the most feature complete, like all-in-one wallet, investing app, crypto app that exists. And it's so simple and easy to use as well. I love Cash App. I'm also a big fan of Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey also owns a significant part of Square. So I love the CEO is a founder and owner of the company, just like I'm an owner of the company. So he's going to be doing stuff that align with my incentives because our incentives are the same here. Jack doesn't even take a salary. The way that Jack makes money is if the stock goes up. So that's really exciting. Similar to Elon. Elon doesn't take a salary in Tesla. I love these founder CEOs. They're freaking amazing. And yeah, anytime I buy a company, I'm really honestly making a bet on the CEO as much as I'm making a bet on the products and stuff like that. Now let's look at Block's balance sheet here. So you can see that total assets, $31 billion, and total liabilities, $14 billion. And Square right now is actually trading, the market cap is only $38 billion. So if you minus liabilities here, we're looking at $17 billion of assets. You can subtract that from the market value. So if you subtract 17 billion from 38 billion, you're actually getting Square for like $21 billion, which is so cheap. That's absolutely mind blowing. So yeah, I really like Square. I'm trying to get as much of this stock as I can. Now let's look at Roku. Now Roku is an interesting one. I think there's a lot of people that don't like Roku much. And the reason why people don't like Roku much is because they're thinking about it all wrong, completely wrong. When people look at Roku, they are thinking, man, this company has so many competitors. They're competing with Disney Plus and Netflix and HBO. I refuse to call it Max. That's stupid. HBO, Hulu. But the reality is, Roku's not competing with any of these. All of these apps are essentially like, okay, this is a great analogy actually. Imagine if people wanted to not buy Google or YouTube, which I have some questions about Google's long-term business model because search is kind of getting disrupted right now, but that's besides the point. Imagine if people said YouTube was a bad company because they're competing against Mr. Beast and PewDiePie and on-chain gaming, and the YouTube channel just can't compete with all the creators. That would be stupid, right? Because YouTube is the platform that hosts all of the creators. Well, guess what? Roku is the platform that hosts all the apps. So if you want to watch Netflix, well, I think over 50% of viewers across Canada and the United States, their journey starts at Roku. That percentage is a little bit off, but it's in the ballpark. Their journey starts with Roku. Roku is the only purpose-built TV operating system. All the other stuff like Apple TV and Amazon Fire and all that, that's all built on Android and is ported over to TV, which means it's more expensive. It can't run on cheap TVs. Whereas Roku is an operating system. So if you think Microsoft, it's an operating system for PC. Android, it's an operating system for mobile phone. Well, Roku is an operating system purpose-built for TVs, and it's literally the only one, which is just absolutely crazy. So what Roku does is they have deals with a bunch of TV manufacturers where a ton of TVs, you buy them, they come pre-installed with Roku as the operating system. The Roku sticks, they're the cheapest on the market. Why? Because they're built to run on super crappy devices, because TVs, you don't want to put that much electronics in them because it's really important to have the price down. And also you're normally not gaming on TVs, so input lag and stuff doesn't really matter. So Roku is the platform, and all of these streaming apps, they're the YouTubers on the platform. That means if you buy a Netflix subscription through Roku, Roku gets a cut of that. If you watch an ad on Amazon, on Amazon Prime, the Prime Video, Roku gets a cut of that ad. Roku is literally selling ads for these other apps. And it's just really, really awesome. So I think that Roku has a massive advantage over the entire streaming space because they have the device and the operating system that you're accessing all of these other streaming apps through. So if you look here, and also I really, really like the CEO of Roku. I think Roku's the sixth company that the CEO founded, and he has an incredible track record. But yeah, we can see here the stock chart almost looks exactly the same as Square's over 5 years. The underperformance has been insane. So then the question is, well, they crashed this much. Did their revenue crash? No, not at all. Now, it does look like their revenue has tapered off a bit. That's because due to the recession fears, advertisers, one of the first things companies do is they cut advertising. So advertising budgets have been massively cut, which has caused Roku's revenue to kind of taper off a bit. But they have 77 million active users that are watching on average 4 hours a day through Roku. And they added 10 million of those 77 million last year. So even though the revenue didn't grow much last year, they added 10 million users. Also, linear TV is getting screwed, okay? It's going to die over the next decade. And still 50% of people are watching on linear. 50% have already left, but 50% are still watching on linear. And as more and more people cord cut, they're going to be moving to Roku. So that's a massive growth opportunity. Half of the market still exists for Roku to take. And what's even crazier is advertising has been even slower to switch away from linear TV to streaming TV. There's way more than 50% of the advertising budget is still spent on linear TV. All of those advertising dollars need to come over to Roku as well, because the advertising dollars are eventually going to follow the users. Also, it's so much better to advertise on Roku because an ad pops up, they can pause, literally click to the store through Roku and purchase something directly. You can't do that on a TV. So also the analytics on how well your ad performs and stuff like that, so much better across Roku. Advertisers are freaking stupid to be spending so much on linear TV. And because of that, they're going to eventually learn, and more advertising dollars are going to be coming over to Roku. Plus, Roku has just started their international growth. So they're the number one in the US, number one streaming platform in Mexico. No, sorry, Canada. They've just started expanding in Mexico, and they're taking a ton of market share in Mexico. And then they still have all of Europe and then the whole rest of the world to eventually penetrate as well. And the reason I'm confident that they will is because Roku, because they're built from the ground up as an operating system for TV, they're the cheapest. No one can compete with cost with Roku. Amazon has to lose money on every Amazon Fire Stick that they sell, whereas Roku, cheaper to make, they sell it at cost. It's really exciting. The revenue growth for Roku is insane, and the valuation right now is also insane. So I think that I'm going to be getting at least 20-30% revenue growth out of Roku per year. And there's going to be years that are even greater than that. Like, for example, as advertising dollars start coming back, when recession fears start going away, when interest rates start getting cut, there's probably going to be like a couple of quarters with like 100%, maybe over 100% revenue growth. It's going to be insane. People are going to be pouring back into the stock. And I expect that both Roku and Block, I might see 3X's in those stock positions, like in the value of those positions in like 12 months or something. That's just my opinion. Okay, so now let's look at the Roku balance sheet here. So you can see total assets for Roku is $4.4 billion. Total liabilities, $1.7 billion. So once again, really healthy balance sheet. Cash on hand, $1.9 billion. So they have more cash on hand than total liabilities. That means they're pretty much debt-free. I love all these companies that are debt-free in this high interest rate environment. They have a massive advantage over all of their debt-laden incumbents that they're disrupting. And people are still just selling down these companies for no reason. 80% down. Like, look at Roku was up at $500. It's $62 now. And the revenue, is it down? No, it's not down. So absolutely crazy. Now, I should note all of these companies that I own, besides Tesla, are pre-profit. They're still in the growth stage, but trust me, their burn rates are so low. Both Roku and Square are planning to be profitable next year. Oh, Palantir as well is another company I own that's just getting to profitability. But first, let's talk about AVTBF. Okay, I should note this is... I don't think this is the riskiest stock that I don't think any of the stocks I own are risky at all, to be completely honest. But a normal person would tell you this is the riskiest stock I own. But it's only risky until you've watched countless interviews with the CEO like I have. You've delved into like the entire market. You understand how much better their product is than everyone else's. You understand their balance sheet, and you're like, oh, this isn't risky. But this is a penny stock. It trades over the counter. A lot of brokerages, you probably can't even buy the stock on. Luckily, Interactive Brokers, you can. And the market cap of this company is only $28 million. I think there's like 250 million total shares. And as you can see, I have 1,045,200 shares. So I actually almost own half a percentage of this entire company. I think one of the biggest shareholders, which is quite insane since I literally only have a little over $100,000 in this company, and I really want to buy even more. So one thing to note, this is only a 2-year chart here. For some reason, I think they've only been like tradable for 4 years, so the 5-year chart just doesn't work. But this company was up at $1 at one point. Now we're trading at about 11 cents. And yeah, this chart does crazy stuff just because there's only like $40,000 of trading volume per day on this stock. This is more like crypto, honestly, the size of this company. It's more the size of normal crypto coins, like crypto gaming coins that you would see. But the question that you should ask is, okay, obviously the stock is down a ton. It's been decimated. It's down 90% from its all-time high. Should I be afraid? Is it going to keep going down? Is this company going to go bankrupt? Well, I don't think so. So this is the revenue growth. Unfortunately, the other charts I was looking at don't have this company yet, so we had to go to Market Watch for this. But you can see 2018, their total sales was $57,000. Not much, right? Super, super tiny company. $57,000. That's much smaller than on-chain gaming was last year. About the same size as on-chain gaming is probably going to be this year. But then 2019, look at this. 3,900% revenue growth to 2.3 million. Then 2020, 200% revenue growth. 2021, a little bit slower, but they still grew 20%. And then 2022, they grew 100%. And in 2023, they're probably going to grow by over 100% again. They just acquired a brand new facility, which is their biggest facility yet. And it's really, really exciting. Balance sheet. This is a much, much smaller company, remember? So I think this is in thousands, not millions. So they have 61 million in total assets and then 18 million in total liabilities. Once again, incredible balance sheet. And what's actually crazy about this company is it's trading 0.6 times book value. Yes, under 1 times book value. That means for every 6 cents that you put into this company, you're technically buying $1 worth of value because their assets are worth, I think, what is that, $40 million? And the company is trading at like $27 million. So literally, if they just said, we're canceling the company, we're going to sell all of our assets and we're just going to pay off all of our debt and then pay the rest out to shareholders evenly based off of your ownership percentage, you would get $1 for every 60 cents of this company that you own. Like, I really wish I could buy even more of this company. It has a 100% margin requirement, unfortunately. But I'm a little bit tempted. I'm going to watch like 1 or 2 more quarters because this is like a newer position for me. As long as the company is performing like I think they're going to perform, I'm going to be building up this position a lot more. The valuation, guys, the valuations of small cap growth stocks are effing stupid right now. It's stupid. And if the market wants to be stupid, you can get rich. And that is the honest truth. All right, so now let's look at my next biggest position, which is Unity. You can see I have 2,200 shares of Unity. It is currently trading at like 37 bucks or something like that. And the market cap is 14 billion. So this is a much bigger company than Avant Brands. I should say, what does Avant do? Avant is a legal cannabis company in Canada, where in Canada it's federally legal, so there's no issues there. It's a Canadian company. They just started importing into Israel and Australia, I believe, and their products are way better than everyone else's, like way better. I used to smoke weed. I don't anymore. But you can just watch reviews of Black Market, which is their number one brand in Canada, Avant's number one brand in Canada. And if you look at reviews of Black Market on YouTube, holy crap, people just love this stuff. They love it so much, it kind of blows my mind. And you watch like them review other stuff and they don't like it half as much. Avant is like 2 or 3 tiers above everyone else. They're selling top tier as well, which, by the way, the weed industry is a terrible industry to invest in right now, because a bunch of money was raised and a bunch of like weed growing facilities were put into Canada, and you just can't compete with the black market unless you are a top shelf company selling really expensive weed that's super high quality. And it's hilarious because their brand is literally called Black Market, even though it's completely illegal. And also the Canadian government requires $1 per gram tax, which is ridiculous. So the only way I think to make money legally in Canada selling weed is with top shelf stuff, because they're just selling it for so much more per gram because it's so high quality that they can actually make a profit. So their margins, I think, are going to be around 40% going forward, which is really, really incredible. And yeah, I like this company. Definitely worth. Singhaven is the last name of the CEO of this company. Looking up interviews of him are incredible. I actually reached out to him on Twitter. I'm going to try to get an interview of for like on-chain gaming. I think it would be great to talk to him on the channel. But moving on to Unity, most of you guys should know Unity. It's a game development platform. It really ties into the Metaverse theme that on-chain gaming is about. And as we get further here, most of the rest of this video, besides Palantir, is going to start getting more into the Metaverse side of things. But yeah, it's a game development platform. Here you can see the 2-year chart. We were up to $200. We're now trading at $37. An insane pullback, like most of the stocks that I own have had. A little run up here because Apple announced the Apple Vision Pro was going to be using Unity, which gave it a little bit of a run, but it's since pulled back. And I think this is a great company to own. It is my lowest conviction of all of my 5 highest conviction stocks in the entire stock market. So it is my smallest position as well. Oh, but so actually, yeah, Palantir is going to come up here in a second. I believe I added Palantir. Maybe I forgot to add Palantir to my slideshow. Oh, I did forget to add Palantir to my slideshow. Oops. Palantir, we can keep the mystery going. Well, let's talk about Palantir first here, because it is a bigger position than Unity. So you can see Palantir is a $120,000 position right now. I actually bought a bunch at $70. It doubled to $14. I sold a bunch and then I was like, wait, that's dumb. This company's about to get a lot bigger. If you guys don't know, Palantir offers AI. Man, this is a long video. Getting into the entire bull case and business model of all these companies is taking a lot longer than I was expecting here. Buttoning up a bit more than I can chew, but I can chew it all. I just got to keep swallowing. They're LLM agnostic, which means they're not making their own language models. But what they do make is the software that allows you to connect every part of your business to the company, like to their software. And then it allows language models to then run your business, make more efficient, better decisions. It's incredible. You guys just need to check out the Palantir YouTube channel and watch their product overviews, stuff like that. And you can learn about Palantir. It is the most expensive company that I own. You can see on this right side here, Tesla is trading 9 times sales. Square and Roku are trading about 2.8 times sales. Palantir is trading 14 times sales. So it's a lot more expensive on that basis. But I think they have a lot of growth coming here. And their current projected growth is super underestimated. They're also moving into profitability, so they're going to be getting added to the S&P 500 soon and stuff like that. So there's reasons that I like to own this, even though it's way more expensive than a lot of the other stocks I own. You can see Avant here only trading 1.2 times sales, growing 100% a year. That's quite ridiculous, and trading less than book value. And then Unity here is trading about 9 times sales, so it's the 3rd most expensive stock I own, and that's why I only have about $80,000 in Unity. So yeah, just a quick look at Palantir there. Palantir's balance sheet is also incredible. So yeah, this is Unity's growth. You can see they've been growing about 30 to 40% a year, and this has continued. So why did we see this drop off? Well, because the market is absolutely irrational and stupid. But yeah, revenue growth is continuing. And when advertising comes back, Unity gets a lot of their money from advertising. This revenue growth is going to look insane. They did recently make an acquisition, which has been helping them continue the revenue growth. It's why it hasn't like tapered off like Roku, because they bought another company to help keep their revenue growth going. But that just means that when advertising actually comes back, the growth is going to look even more insane. Balance sheet of Unity, you can see 7.8 billion in assets and then 4.2 billion in liabilities. All the companies I own have really, really healthy balance sheets. Okay, let's move on to crypto stuff. So I sold most of my Gala. I still have 2 Gala nodes running. So you can see that I have about 14,000 Gala that I've farming about 300 Gala a day. I actually think Gala is probably a good price right now. If the company is doing well, the currency will rebound. However, I have no insight into Gala. All I know is they're firing hella people, including on-chain gaming, including the partner manager who I was working with, got let go even before on-chain gaming. A bunch of people, like the person who created Jiri, a great community member, got fired. Like, they're letting a lot of people go, which makes me worry a bit. And I have literally, no one does. No one has there's no transparency for Gala. So I don't know how well the company is doing fundamentally. And because there's stocks I can buy that are down 80%, why do I want to buy a crypto that's a complete risky bet? I have no idea if the company's going to go bankrupt or if they're fine, when I can put this money into stocks that are down the same amount and are clearly growing revenue and I have complete transparency inside of. So that's kind of my decision making there. Now, the caveat is at about 2 cents, if Gala does succeed and we go back to $1, I mean, obviously you're going to get insane returns, but I also don't feel bad continually selling off my Gala because I'm farming Gala every day. I have the 2 nodes. I'll be getting more Gala in the future. Probably a bad mindset, but like I said, I have no idea any of the fundamentals of Gala, so I have no conviction. I do have conviction still. I want to caveat that. I do have conviction still in Web3 gaming and real player ownership in the metaverse. I still have conviction about that. But then you can see here, I do own 97,000 Materium here. It's about $12,000 worth of Materium because Materium's fallen a ton. But that's not all the Materium I own. I'll show you the rest of my Materium here in a second. Okay, so this is Uniswap. You can see I have about 250,000 Materium staked to liquidity on Uniswap. However, we're currently out of range because it's fallen a lot. My max that I'm willing to sell Materium for is 7,000. The max I'm willing to sell is 7,500 Materium per ETH. Right now we're at 14,000 Materium per ETH, which is way too cheap in my opinion. Materium's circulating market cap is like $2 million bucks. But once again, this is very risky because we don't know. We don't know what the runway is of Mirandus or Gala. So I'm just hoping that these projects get finished and that they have enough money to finish, the games that they've promised us when they're also burning a bunch of money on film and music. And those probably won't start making money for a long time. And I don't really know anything about those industries. Actually, I do know that Block, one of my biggest companies, has Tidal, which is a super revolutionary music platform meant to help artists. And I don't like Gala's going to compete against Block when Block has $17 billion of cash. Like, there's no way Gala's going to compete with that unless their products are a lot better. And I have absolutely no reason to believe that they are. Maybe they are, but I don't have that conviction. I haven't done that research. So I just really hope that music and movies don't bankrupt Gala, because that would really make me sad, because the Web3 gaming space has so much potential. But yeah, if Materium starts going up, then I'm going to be the biggest liquidity provider. I mean, I am the biggest liquidity provider of Materium on Uniswap, but right now my liquidity is not actually getting used because I'm not willing to sell any Materium into ETH at these prices. And also, F you guys in the Twitter and stuff that had me blocked and were lying about me dumping Materium. You guys just need to F off, okay? Trust me, if I dump my Materium, you guys would know it. All right, let's move on. Here are my NFTs that I have for Gala, and actually most of my Mirandus NFTs aren't in my main account anymore. I've been spreading out my NFTs and some of my positions across multiple accounts so that it's not as easy to track me. Mostly I did this as an FU to all the people saying that I dumped when I literally sold like 1% of my Materium, all right? Still holding 99%. And everyone's like, you dumped your Materium, you hate your viewers. It's stupid, all right? It's stupid. But yeah, I have, I think almost 300 or 400 Mirandus NFTs. So this is just a small part here. I have Superior NFTs, Townstar NFTs, Spider Tanks, Vox, Fortitude, Legend Reborn, all of these games I have NFTs for. I have a bunch of Mirandus Voxes as well. I'm very excited about Voxverse, but honestly, all of these could be a write-off if Gala goes bankrupt. And I don't know if they will. And also some of these NFTs are probably securities. So we'll see what happens with all of this. I'm still really bullish on the whole Web3 gaming space, but I don't know what's going to happen in the short term. But I'm holding all this stuff because in the long term, if they work out, the returns are going to be incredible on this stuff, but there's really no way to know. Okay, I just have a little axe to grind here. The entire last month, The Gala said my nodes were offline, even though they are running. They're literally all running. Like you see Gala node 1 on my Vulture has been running nonstop. I'm pretty sure like someone, actually, I don't know. This is just complete speculation. I think someone's shutting off my nodes so that I stop earning and have to keep restarting them to get them to actually register as working. I'm really pissed off at Gala right now, though. Let's just move on. I own green nodes, switch nodes, blue nodes. Actually, I think blue changed to Galvin or something. Just a bunch of other nodes for a bunch of other ecosystems. And this list keeps on going down, but I don't want to scroll and show all that. So I'm running way too many nodes probably, but they're all farming me cryptos. And I've mostly gotten my money out of most of the nodes I've bought. So there's just upside left. If these ecosystems succeed, these nodes are probably going to be printing 10 these. If these ecosystems don't succeed, it's fine. I've already mostly gotten my returns. Okay, so you can see, look, I just restarted my nodes and wow, look, they're just back. I'm running the right software and they were running successfully. I don't know why someone at Gala keeps shutting off my nodes. Okay. I also own like a lot of Star Atlas stuff. You can see I have 2.6 million Atlas, 16,000 Polis. I have a lot of Atlas NFTs too, but just like Gala, I don't know if this company is going to go bankrupt. I don't know what their revenue is like. I'm sure it's down hella. I'm sure that Gala's revenue is like down 80, 90%. Star Atlas's revenue is probably down 80, 90%. If they were actually being transparent, I bet these coins would be down even more than they are, but they're down a crap ton. So we'll see. I'm just holding this stuff. I'm not going to sell this stuff now. I'm hopeful. I have 100 Synergians. I actually own like 2 of the rarest Synergians. Synergy Land is the game I'm really excited for. These Cinder, I probably will never play Cinder. This is probably worth 0. I don't know. But yeah, I got a good amount of NFTs and stuff for a lot of different games as well. So in conclusion, guys, most of these videos are not going to be this long, but if you want a weekly update on all my buys and sells and the reasons behind those buys and sells, then subscribe to the Patreon for $9 a month. I would really appreciate that. Since we're not going to be sponsored, no more sponsors going forward. We only are going to make money off of you guys signing up for Patreon and Magic Book. So I would really, really appreciate you guys supporting in those 2 ways. And I'm excited to continue updating you guys on how my portfolio evolves over time every single week. Also, if you pay annually, you'll save 16% if you would like to do that. But yeah. A lot more videos are going to be coming, boys. So thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you found it interesting and educational. I know it's not a gameplay video or anything, but I'm sure some of you will like this. I'm planning on making like 1 video a day about stocks and 1 video a day about Web3. And they're just going to be rants like this in front of my camera because I don't have editors anymore. And yeah, if you guys really don't like the stock focused videos, then I'll probably make a new channel, just focus on stocks, and then just do 1 a day on each. But if you guys do like them both, then I'll keep uploading them both here. The crypto gaming videos will sometimes be gameplay. Sometimes they'll be market focused. But yeah, this is the last, like, I'll talk about some stuff that I'm buying and stuff every once in a while, I'm sure, just here on the main channel. But if you want to know every buy and sell, then make sure you're subscribing to the Patreon. Make sure you're dropping a thumbs up if you appreciated the transparency in this video. And drop your comments letting me know your thoughts below. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I'll see you guys all in the next one.